Hello and welcome to Odoo Live. My name is Noel, Community Manager here at Odoo San Francisco, and thank you once again for joining us. Today I'm joined by Elizabeth, our Senior Partnership Executive here at Odoo San Francisco, to talk about a very important topic regarding the Odoo Partnership Program. Elizabeth, what is that particular topic?
Well, you'll find out soon. Can't go over all the details now.
Well, as always, if you have any questions regarding today's topic, which you will find out momentarily, please send us an email or write us in the chat, and we will answer your questions at the end during our Q&A session. Additionally, if you have questions regarding not particularly related to today's topic, you can always send us an email. We are at webinars@odoo.com. Or if you would like to get in touch with Elizabeth directly, Elizabeth, what is your email address?
It's esa@odoo.com.
Excellent. So with all that being said, go ahead and take it away, Elizabeth.
Perfect. Thank you, Noel. So today we'll be covering how to become a successful Odoo partner in less than a year. Like Noel mentioned, please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or you're interested in our partnership program. My email, esa@odoo.com. So today we will be going over the product knowledge, marketing, sales, and delivery, and we'll wrap it up with a bit of a Q&A session. I know you'll have questions throughout the webinar, but I'll make sure to answer as many as I can at the end. Great, let's jump into product knowledge. So when you become an official partner, you have access to our functional trainings. Now, these are videos, these are tests, these are exercises and PDFs on our functionalities of Odoo. These are the same trainings that we take when we initiate here at Odoo, so you have access to that. The second resource that you have as a partner is that now you have access to taking our technical trainings. Now, the requirement to take the technical training is that you have taken the functional training, so you are pretty familiar with our functionalities, and that you are familiar with the code language Python. Our next training will be on June 3rd, and they are conducted here out of our San Francisco office. And it's pretty much an intense week where you may know how to develop in Python, but it's a different when you are developing in Odoo. And so we highly recommend that if you are going to be doing development as a partner, that you take these trainings. I also emphasize a lot on the functional trainings, right? As a partner, you also have access to our knowledge base. Now, this is a place where our partners have access to documentation on how to boost your sales, develop the market in your region, implementation methodology, and documents like so. As a partner, one of the requirements that you have is that you must become certified you have up to 5 to 6 months to become certified. And the test, like I said, it's functional. It's 80 questions, and you must pass it with a 70% score or higher. And I know this is just 4 bullet points, but it's very key, very important that your team, no matter what department they're in, they learn the functionalities of Odoo. And there's plenty of resources, speaking from experience, because these are the same trainings that we take. Have your team dive into the software, create databases. We have a lot of webinars, right, on the functionalities of Odoo, and we have documentation. But to really shorten that learning curve is you want to jump into the software and start doing modifications, trial and errors, and that for me is the best way to learn about the functionalities of Odoo and get more experience in that. The second is marketing. So as a partner, especially in the beginning, you want to focus on generating new leads and guiding them to your webpage, right? So one of the first things that we do as an official partner is that we collect information about your company and the services that you offer. So this is a short and long-term description, including your logo. Once you get certified, we include that, or we publish you as a certified partner. In terms of references and success stories, this is something that I tell all of my partners, but only about 20% of them do it. When you have a successful implementation on Odoo Enterprise, collect a reference. You want to publish this on your website, and you want us to publish that on our website under your company. And so the way it works in Odoo is that under your company, we will put the references that you have. And so the more references you have, the higher visibility you are on our page. Clients go to that page all the time, and if they see that you are doing implementations in a certain type of industry or just have experience implementing, you are more likely to get more leads or for them to contact you, right? You want to update your website. Some partners may not have a website, so I definitely recommend for you to create a website, and you want to regularly publish content on your website. You want to update your website in the terms that you say that you are an Odoo partner, right? If somebody Googles Odoo partners in Canada or Odoo partners in the US or any other country, you want to be able to pop up as an option, right? You want to publish regular content on your website. You want to announce any achievements. Let's say you published a new app on our app store or developed a new type of app. You want to publish that. Any customer that's going live, any certifications, roadshows that you're participating, new partnership levels that you're achieving. So you want to publish that also on your LinkedIn, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, just all social medias. You want to make sure that you publish that. We also have partners who have their own YouTube channel and they show the functionalities of Odoo. So you want to make sure that you're publishing that as well. You can send out mass mail to your clients or a certain type of industry. But to me, the best type of incentive or the best type of leads that you want to get is from a referral from a client. So I highly recommend referral incentives. This is where, obviously your clients are referring some people that they know to you. And to me, these are the best type of leads to be getting. You can also participate in public and private bid websites. So pretty much what this is that there's certain large companies, either private or public, where they are interested in getting or replacing their ERP. So they go to websites and you are able to bid on these type of projects. So definitely check those out. You want to participate in events. You want to participate on an Odoo roadshows, or you want to go to a fair where there's local businesses, a certain type of industry that you focus. You'll see that in the beginning of when you're starting off your partnership, you are focused on generating new leads and doing a lot of marketing. A lot of our gold partners now, they can't even take on new projects, so they don't focus as much on marketing, right? They might still do a couple of, send out a couple of marketing here and there, but they won't focus on it because a lot of their clients are referring them new clients, and they don't even have time to take on new projects. So this is something that's important, especially in the beginning. In terms of sales, so I'll go over what your sales team needs to focus on in terms of qualification, pitch, demos, and proposal. So starting with the qualification, it is important that your sales team knows how to qualify. I know that this is something that's pretty basic, but as basic as it is, they need to know how to do it really well. Something that's really easy, the BANT, right? Budget, authority, need, and timeline. So you want to know what the client's budget is, right? You want to make sure that you are talking to somebody who's a decision maker, what the need is. And this is very important. These are pain points. This comes in handy when it comes to negotiation, right? And timeline. If you have a client that doesn't want to implement a year from now, you probably want to deal with clients that are going to want to have an implementation sooner than later, right? In terms of pitch, with this is knowing how to pitch Odoo, but also knowing how Odoo differentiates itself in the marketplace from a business model, the product, and the services standpoint. Not only does your sales team need to know how Odoo differentiate itself, but also how you as a partner, because they will be challenged. They will be asked, hey, how come I don't go with partner X? Or how come I don't use X ERP, right? And your sales team needs to be able to handle these type of questions, these type of challenges, and it's important. In terms of demos, so I want to clarify, when it comes to a demo, the purpose of a demo is to show, it's a proof of concept. It's to wow them and to show them that their workflows can be done in Odoo. Mind you, obviously you will not be able to show them every single aspect, but that is the point or the purpose of a demo. It's not a training. So the reason why I mention this is that sometimes we have partners who do slides, right? You want to show the product. So if you are going to have certain slides, you want to keep it minimal. You want to, before you do the demo, you want to tell them what you're going to show them. You want to show them in Odoo, and you want to go over what you just showed them. So definitely show the product. We recommend that every meeting that you have, you know, there's even on the first meeting, you show something or you show the product because the product will sell itself. And so you want to make sure that it's not a training in terms of, you know, you want it to be easy. You want to be a easy flow for them to see how easy it's integrated and how fast you're able to show it. And you want to hold off the questions till the end because they will want to ask you, hey, how about this? How about that? And so you want it to be an easy flow and not to show them how you did it, but just show them the product. So I want to mention that before jumping into the type of demos and the type of trainings that your sales team should be doing to be getting more and more in depth on the product. So the first we call the generic order to cash. So your sales team, show them or how to do a generic order to cash. What this means is doing a flow. Let's say they start from the website. Somebody ordered a product and then turned it into a lead opportunity. It goes into the CRM. There's a quotation that's sent out. Perhaps you want to include manufacturing in there, and you want to do the delivery, collecting the payment. So you want them to do a flow, an order to cash flow. You want them to master that flow. Perhaps they need to do it about 10 to 15 times to master that. From there, you want to take them a little bit more in depth in terms of having use cases. So we say, for example, about 3 use cases. What I mean by this is having them do, for example, a catering company in which they take orders from website and they determine the inventory. You know, they order the inventory such date, depending on when the order is. They assign it to such chef. It's going to be made the day before. So there's a certain business flow that this company does. And so your sales team or your salesperson needs to know how to get information from the client and recognize their workflows to be able to address them in Odoo and apply that to Odoo. So you can do that in terms of in a subscription. So maybe it's not a product, or you can do a product in terms of, you know, manufacturing. But you want to do cases where they're able to hear what the client needs, the business aspect of it, and apply it to Odoo. Okay. From there, going into a more in-depth, this is a per app, getting to know each and every single app of Odoo and knowing the business flow of it, knowing the wow factors of every single app. And this will get them and elevate their knowledge on Odoo a lot faster and a lot better, and be able to do these demos on the fly, because that's ultimately what you want your sales teams to do. If somebody comes to them and they have an issue and they have a workflow, that they'll be able to do a demo on the fly and be able to pitch it at the same time and show the wow factors. We recommend that demos be from 15 to 20 minutes, but usually if they're longer than 20 minutes, then maybe it can be broken down. In terms of the proposal, so this is pretty much a document, right? That specifies the parties that are involved. This includes the customer, the integrator, and the vendor. The proposal defines the implementation services that will be rendered, the responsibility of all parties, and the tentative timeline and the pricing for a given project. I'll go a little bit more into detail in terms of the tentative timeline and the pricing a little bit further. But yes, your team needs to be set up in this form, or we recommend to follow these type of steps in order for them to be successful. Now, when you are starting off as a partner, you need to choose a strategy. You are either a quick start partner or you are a custom project partner. What does this mean? Quick start. You are doing offering an out-of-the-box solution without heavy custom development. You are keeping the solution as standard as possible, and it's probably going to cover about 80% of the client's needs. In terms of internal resources, you will have one salesperson at least and one functional expert. Okay. The clients that you will see will range from 1 to 50 users for a quick start. The benefits of a partner is that they focus on an industry and they increase volume of implementations. So this type of partner is focusing on volume. Perhaps they created a database for a certain type of industry and the implementation is fast. They are just pretty much modifying it to fit the end client needs, but they'll just duplicate the database and implement, and it's more based on volume. Now, the benefit to the customer is that it is affordable and it is fast. And that's pretty much how a quick start project or type of partner works. Now, for a custom project partner, you will most likely always start with a gap analysis and provide a long-term planning to the customer. You will build an ERP to meet and to cover 100% or close to 100% of the customer needs. In terms of internal resources, you will have at least one salesperson, one project manager, a business analyst, and a developer. The type of customers that you'll see, they'll probably have 50 users or more. The benefits to a partner is that they have a higher income margin. The benefits to a customer is that it meets 100% of their needs. Okay, and it's important, like I said, that when you're starting off, that you select a strategy. You cannot be doing both. You will have your teams mixed up, and maybe in the future you can do both, but definitely select a strategy. And this also allows your sales team to be able to disqualify. Yes, to disqualify a client. So if a client comes to you and they are looking for a quick start type of project and you are a custom partner, then you won't be attending their needs, or you won't be addressing, or you won't be focusing on this type of client, and vice versa with other type of clients. From there, in terms of delivery, obviously it varies in the type of strategy that you choose. So I want to focus on the tips and the recommendations that we have. In terms of delivery, we advise to never work on a fixed price project, always charge based on time and material. And so the way I like to look at an ERP implementation, or I like to relate it as perhaps remodeling a home, right? You walk into the home and you say, okay, I'm going to take down this wall, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and it's going to cost you this much. But once you start working on it, you see that the pipes are old, that perhaps the foundation needs to be replaced, or there's termites. And so same thing goes with an implementation of an ERP. And so two things happen. Either you find out that something needs to be developed, or it's going to take longer, or the client now wants to have, instead of having a small pantry, they want to have a huge pantry and you need to take out the wall. The client is always changing its mind during the implementation, right? And so you need to make sure that this is something that you are doing the work, but you're being paid in terms of time and material, and it makes sense for you, and that it's flexible. Obviously, when you do a gap analysis, you're able to see roughly the time that's going to take you, or the hours that it's going to take you on the functional level, and the hours that it's going to take you on a development level, and you can give them a really good idea of how much it's going to cost them, and how much and how long it's going to take. Okay. We recommend to minimize custom development as much as possible and try to find a workaround. I know that perhaps a lot of partners may not agree because a lot of their income may come from development, but I just want to mention this because I want you to keep in mind that any development that is done needs to be maintained. This means either bug fixes or every time there's a new version and let's say the client wants to upgrade in 2 or 3 years from now to the new version and you just develop 400 hours. And maybe a year or 2 year from now and they want to upgrade, that needs to be maintained and that needs to be upgraded. And so we want to make sure that if there's going to be development that's done, it's done for a good reason. That it's not just because the client wants a 3-story house, right? We want to make sure that it's smart and that it makes sense. So, and if you can find a workaround, if you can change perhaps the client's workflow internally, that's highly suggested. We also recommend to purchase a partner pack. I cannot emphasize this enough. You, especially during your first implementation, whether you are doing an internal implementation, which is recommended, or a small project, purchase a partner pack. If you don't use all the hours, you can use it for several other projects. It does not expire. And you will have an Odoo consultant guiding you and helping you. And, you can use them for any type of support in terms of auditing any development that you may have done or just helping you strategize and knowing how to do this implementation. So I highly recommend that. The project manager. The project manager is key in having a successful implementation. The reason is because they decide the strategy, they guide the implementation, they keep both parties organized and on track, and they know when and how to say no to an end client. Now, this is very important. Like I said, during an implementation, the client will change its mind, will want to do something else. And so the project manager is responsible to going back to the proposal and saying, this is what we agreed to, whether we're going to edit it or not, whether we're going to do it or not, will be decided by the project manager. And then from there, pricing and so on will need to be reestablished again. They also need to learn how to say no when, like I said, a client wants a 3-4 story house and the foundation was made for a 1 or 2 story house. They need to be able to know how to explain and have the end client understand the reason why you don't want to just to develop. It has to be for a good reason and it needs to make sense and they need to know that this is something that needs to be maintained. You need to be smart about it, right? So this is why we always want a project manager to keep both parties also in the timeline. So the project depends as much on a partner as it does on a customer. On the customer providing the information, on the customer cooperating in a certain time frame, a timeline. And we also recommend for the project manager to have one point of contact in the company. You want this point of contact to be in every single meeting, so you guys are both on the same page, whether it's with different departments. Ideally, if this point of contact knows what the needs are of each department, that would be great. But you want to have that point of contact to be in every single one of the meetings, so you guys are both on the same page. You want to also be in contact with one decision maker, right? Every time that a department wants something changed, you need to be in contact with the decision maker, and that's very important. We also recommend that you do an implementation in phases. You never want to say to a company, hey, tomorrow we will be starting fresh with Odoo, starting from the accounting department, manufacturing, sales, and so on. Everybody's going to go live tomorrow. You want to have it done in phases, and you can do it in 2 ways. You can either focus on having it done on the core of the business. So if it's a manufacturing company, perhaps the first you will start with manufacturing and then do the implementations of other apps at a later phase. Or you just want it to make sense in terms of the flow. So you won't implement invoicing, for example, without implementing sales and the CRM before before implementing invoicing. So you want to do that in phases. You want to do it in a group of modules, perhaps 3 or 4, and departments, and so that it makes sense and it's easier in that way. You want to have, this is very important, it's the last but not the least, have an implementation plan that defines the scope and the timelines. This is important. This is something that you'll go back to with the client, and this is something that the client will use as well, and that the project manager can go back to. This is pretty much the tips and the summary of a delivery, something that we recommend. We do have an implementation methodology, like I mentioned, on the partner knowledge base that goes a little bit more into detail, but these are just a bit of details here. So we can go ahead and wrap up with the Q&A. Noel, if they have any questions.
No, as at the moment, it looks like pretty much covered everything that we needed that we answered. So I mean, yeah, nobody at the moment has any questions. I'll give people a few minutes in case there are any lingering ones. But I would like to thank you for delivering this presentation, and for all of you all who are watching us as well. Don't forget, if we can't answer your question today, you can always send us an email. We are at webinars@odoo.com. Or if you would like to get in touch with Elizabeth directly, Elizabeth, one more time, what is your email address?
It's esa@odoo.com.
Excellent. Here's a nice and simple one from the get-go. Jorge Luis Coronado, how much does it cost to become a partner?
So please contact me, because the prices vary. Sometimes we have certain promotions. So please send me an email and we can talk a little bit more in detail.
Right. Excellent. Well then, yeah, I guess, with all of that being said, I think it's probably going to cover it for us here at our studios here in Odoo, San Francisco. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video useful, so we can continue making these webinars for you all. Elizabeth, is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, well, thank you for your time, and look forward to hearing from you.
Excellent. Well, thank you all very much. We will see you all next time.